Hi again. After you conduct an experiment, what's an easy way for you to get a quick sense of what the typical score or measurement was in your experiment? Well, we're going to talk about 3 different ways in which you can measure the typical sort of score: the mean, the mode, and the median. The mean, you already know, that's the average. The mode is the most commonly occurring measurement or response, and the mode is whatever is smack in the middle of the distribution. So let's talk about each of those in turn, shall we? All right, the mean, the average. You guys know this, very easy to calculate. Let's use a hypothetical company. Since we're at Northridge, I made up a company, the San Fernando Valley Widget Company. And let's say that the SFV company has 9 employees, and the salaries of those employees are $10,000, $12,000, all the way up to $300,000. The question is, okay, what's the average salary? Well, to find the average, you add up all the numbers, right? And then divide by the number of numbers. If you do that in this case, you add up all the numbers, you get $547,000. You divide by the number of employees, which was 9, and you end up with an average salary calculation of a little over $60,000. So that's what the mean will tell you in terms of the most typical salary. How about the mode? Well, let's look at the San Fernando Valley Widget Factory's 9 employees and their salaries. Again, they're lined up in order. The question is, which salary occurs most often? If you look at this, well, the salary of $25,000 a year is the most frequently occurring salary. Most people have that salary, so that would be your mode. Okay? Another example of mode, imagine this. Say you had 14 boxes of matches, and you want to find out what's the mode or the typical number of matches in each box. So you go through box after box and you count, and the first box has 48, and the next box has 49, and the next box has 52, and etc. You do all these boxes. What number of matches occurs most? 50, right? The number 50 occurs in 4 different boxes, so that's your mode. So the mode is, I think of the mode as the word most. The first 2 letters in both words are the same. Mode, most frequently occurring. The last of the 3 measures of typicality is median. And median is in the middle. You know, when you're driving down the freeway, say California's Highway 101, there's a median divider, right? It's in the middle. How do you calculate the median? Actually, you don't have to calculate the median. You just take all the values, all the numbers in your distribution, and you order them so they're ascending or descending in value. Okay, so back to the widget factory, we have the 9 employees. I've got all the salaries lined up from from 10,000 to 300,000. And the question is, what's the salary that's right in the middle? There's 9 salaries, so the one that's right in the middle would be the 5th, because there's 4 less than that and 4 more than that. And that would give you a value of $25,000. Interesting. So the San Fernando Valley Widget Factory, the typicality scores, if you use the mode, and the median is $25,000 a year. But if you use the average, it's over $60,000 a year. I smell a Mark Twain quote coming on, right? Depending on the argument you wanted to make, you could pick a different number. All right, let's go, before I get to that point though, let's go to one more example of the median. Let's imagine Tiger Woods is out at the Van Nuys golf course, and hits 11 different balls on the driving range, and the distance that he hit each golf ball is measured. So let's say, the first ball he hits is 85 yards and the next one's 125 and the next one is 130, et cetera, et cetera. How do we find the median? Well, we take all of those distances and we put them in order, and then we look for what the middle one is. Median, middle, median on a freeway, middle, it's 85 yards. Okay. So why did Mark Twain say that statistics was a kind of lie? Well, when you saw this example with the salaries from the widget company, the mode, the median, and the mean gave different answers. So in this example we have here, each little person in green is supposed to represent one family's salary or income for the year. And if you look at all of those and calculate the average or the mean, you end up with a salary of $70,000. But if you calculate or pick out the mode, what's the most common salary? Well, it's only $20,000. If you look at the median or middle salary, it's $30,000. Like, wait a second, I thought you were giving me 3 different ways of calculating the typical value. Well, I am, but these different measures, under some circumstances, and we'll get to that in the next lecture, give you very different values. So, if you are an employee of the San Fernando Valley Widget Company, you could go to your boss and say, hey, I can't live on $20,000 a year. You have to increase my salary. The boss might say, what are you talking about? The average or the mean salary is $70,000. That's a good salary. Sure. But why are the mean, the mode, and the median so different? Well, it turns out the mean, the mode, and the median each have advantages and disadvantages. And that has a lot to do with the shape of the distribution. So, for example, the mean value can be distorted by really high values. So in the previous slide where we saw everybody's salaries, there were just a couple of people who had astronomical salaries relative to everybody else. Those astronomical salaries pull the mean in that direction. The mode and the median are less susceptible. The mode and the median are less susceptible to the pull of those extreme values. They have their own drawbacks. So, for example, the median can take a long time to calculate if you have a huge distribution, although only if you're doing the calculations by hand. And the mode can sometimes be confusing because sometimes there's more than one mode. What if 20 people at the widget factory made $17,000 a year and 20 people at the widget factory made $100,000 a year? Now I've got 2 different modes. What do I do? So there's advantages and disadvantages to each, but they all depend. The usefulness of each one depends on the shape of the distribution. We're going to talk about distribution shape in the next video. See you then.